on Fresno State Focus, see why students love Wednesdays.
Plus, learn how to protect your bike from being stolen. Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Bianca Rose.
And I'm Natalie Juarez. The Fresno State Alumni Association is encouraging students to join its organization prior to graduation, with events happening once a month. Leo Barajas tells us more about this event.
Smith Camp Alumni House is providing a new way for students to have fun, eat, and relax during the middle of their week for free. Blair Smith Camp, Assistant Director of Alumni and Student Engagement, tells us why she wanted this event to happen at Fresno State.
We wanted to create this student engagement connection with the Alumni Association, and we wanted to do a hangout. I mean, when you're in the middle of the week and you're doing all of your classes and you have your tests and your studies, you kind of want to decompress, and what better day to do that than on Hump Day.
Guess what day it is? It's Hump Day. Tia the Camel is here at Fresno State, visiting us at Smith Camp Alumni House for Hump Day Wednesday.
During the hangout, students were able to take pictures with Tia the Camel and relax and have a great time with friends before the end of the week. It is Wednesday after all.
I really enjoy it. It's a good experience for all the students to come and see the Alumni House, because a lot of students don't really know that it exists, first of all. And it's also a good chance for everyone to meet each other.
Students are being recruited because the Fresno State Alumni Association is an all-exclusive membership model association, which means the minute students walk onto campus, they're considered alumni.
Hump Day Hangout was created in our student engagement endeavor. We created a student engagement campaign called Bulldog for Life. The students that come onto campus, they're technically considered alumni the moment they step onto campus.
Fresno State student Rafael Villagomez had a blast at Hump Day Hangouts.
I think it's great. The food is great. The camel was very participating. We took lots of pictures with it. It was pretty fun.
The next Hump Day Hangout is Wednesday, December 18th from 4 p.m. until 7 p.m. at Smith Camp Alumni House at Fresno State. Leo Barajas, Fresno State Focus.
Fresno State students can enjoy live music right here on campus on Wednesdays at noon. Mimi Alcala tells us more.
Rock and roll, always.
Fresno State's University Student Union Productions brings local talent to perform at the Pit on campus. These mini concerts called Nooners are held on select Wednesdays throughout the school year. The concerts give students the chance to experience local talent without having to leave school. Students can take a break from classes, grab a bite to eat, unwind, and listen to some live music. Two student coordinators are in charge of the music scene for USU Productions. They find and bring musicians to campus.
We're playing some sweet tunes at noon.
Coordinator Sona Sagamonian gets real-world experience with dealing with performers.
Yeah, there's always been some troubles with either their managers or the band themselves not being in contact as well as we'd hope, but in the end, everything works out.
Co-coordinator Carmen Gefkin explains how they pick their performers using social media.
It's cool because you can listen to everyone's music now on Facebook, so it's a quick way of seeing who we want and kind of to rule out people. But yeah, it's good. There's a lot of good local talent in Fresno, and we're glad to be able to showcase it every week.
Fresno State student Brandon Allen says he thinks Nooners are a good way for bands to get exposure.
This is a cool way for local bands to kind of get an audience, and you can tell which ones are good because they usually people come all over. It fills up pretty well, so yeah, I think it's a cool experience.
Nooners for the fall semester have come to an end, but be sure to check out USU Productions' Facebook page for upcoming concerts in the spring. This is Mimi Alcala, Fresno State Focus.
Bike thefts are common throughout campus. The choice of bike lock can make a significant difference. David Lee shows us how.
Fresno State students use many means of transportation to get around. Most drive, some walk, and others ride boards or bicycles. Transportation is essential for these students to get to class. Unfortunately, many have had their bikes stolen during class.
And so what happened was, I went around and tried looking in the nearby area, and then it came as kind of like a shock to me. Oh shoot, my bike was stolen. And so that's what happened.
Thieves commonly target certain bike locks for their lack of security. Austin Maddox, employee of Rubber Soul Bicycles, gave some tips on which locks to use.
One was a friend of mine. He got his bike locked up at I think the Save Mart Center. Somewhere on Fresno State, he was using a cable lock. Someone came up, they cut the lock, took off his bike. It's happened a lot. Most people that use cable locks, especially at Fresno State, that's how they get their bikes stolen.
Now you always want to place the U-lock through the front spokes
the bike rail, and the bike frame. For example, as you can see here, the U-lock is through the bike frame and the bike rail, but not the front spokes. And you always want to take off any small accessories you have on your bicycle. For example, these lights right here, because they're easy targets for thieves. And always remember to use safety when you ride your bicycle. Fortunately, Panette Williams has not had her bike stolen from her.
Quite a few people who have, and I'm glad it's not happened to me, and I'm not sure what I would do if it did happen to me.
Hopefully, students know to use U-locks instead of cable locks. David Lee, Fresno State Focus.
There's a t-shirt exchange program on campus. Find out who is behind it and how you can get a hold of this one-of-a-kind shirt. Associated Students Incorporated has brought back a t-shirt exchange program to promote more school spirit on campus. At designated swap stops, students can exchange an old high school or non-Fresno State College t-shirt for a newly designed Fresno State shirt. Senator of Athletics and Recreation, Justin Whiston, says that ASI designed the shirt based off an old Fresno State logo, but added a few unique touches.
We wanted to kind of do something kind of throwback to go with our homecoming theme, and still kind of incorporate the Bulldog spirit. And so we actually found the logo in the archives in the library. It's an old Fresno State logo, and we kind of put our own touch to it with a quote from the fight song.
ASI Senator and Activities Committee member Lindsay Fiddler says there are a few swap stop locations on campus.
Any ASI event where you see the swap stop logo is where you can come. I know, for example, we have our Thirsty Thursday events, which are the first Thursday of every month at the Bucket. Those are going to be a swap stop. We're also hopefully going to be having a swap stop at every Bulldog Wednesday, which is the first Wednesday of every month down in the Free Speech area. So that will be another place to go. And then, like you said, the office, anytime, USU 316.
In addition to promoting school spirit, the program serves another purpose. ASI President Moses Menchaca says they plan to give donated shirts to the local community.
Well, all the t-shirts that we do collect, we would like to donate back to some of the students or some of the kids, maybe in the El Dorado Park area, where college is often not considered in their future. But we're hoping that by giving them not only clothing, but also giving them a dream and a goal and a desire to attend college.
With me today is Candace Amico, ASI Executive Vice President. Thanks for joining us today, Candace.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit more about the program and why you decided to bring it back.
Okay, so the program is something that I was kind of flipping through old archives of ASI to find out what programs we've done in the past, and this is one that really sparked my interest because I'm really gung-ho about school spirit. ASI President Moses Menchaca and I have both been on the same level where we really wanted to up Fresno State school spirit, and we figured this was the best way to go about it, giving students the opportunity to swap old high school or other college shirts for Fresno State gear.
And how has the feedback been from students?
It's been great. We see our shirts all over campus. For the blackout game, that was one of our big pushes, and we had so many students in the Fresno State ASI shirts. It was so great to go to the game and see so many of those shirts out and about.
And what's your favorite shirt?
I personally like the black one. I mean, we have the same style in red, but I like the black better. It just stands out better. Next year, we're hoping for the spring semester to bring back a throwback version of the shirt, so we're trying something new next semester.
And is there any new designs in the work yet, or?
There are. We've kind of tossed back some old ideas. Our big thing this year was throwback, so we wanted to keep with that theme. And as we were going through some of the offices, we've noticed some throwback shirts that they had, and it really sparked our interest with our Vice President of Finance, Rebecca Rosengarten. So her and I have been kind of working to decide what design we're going to go with for the spring semester.
And you guys also have a Thirsty Thursday event coming up. Tell us a little bit more about that.
We do. So we've decided that students, really want to have access to the bucket, and we don't have it past 3 o'clock. So we decided once a month, beginning of the year, we're going to open it up first Thursday of every month so that students can go in and enjoy, just music, food, hang out with their friends. And we've designated those also for swap stops for the t-shirt exchange program.
And have you given those shirts yet to the Wesley Methodist Church yet?
We haven't. We're hoping to do that right before Christmas time so that it's kind of a little bit more school-spirited.
That's great. And well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
We've been talking to ASI Vice President Candace Amico. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see those new shirts next semester.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we'll see how close the Bulldogs are to the BCS Bowl.
Plus, find out how you can get some adrenaline pumping in your veins this winter. Stay tuned for sports with Michael Shear.
I am Fresno State, and I'm going to show you why. Here's the beautiful and newly constructed Henry Madden Library, which has a massive collection. The Save Center, which is our sports venue and one of the best attended in the entire country. We're absolute pioneers in the agricultural sciences, having led to the production of the first university winery and drawing in a diversity of students to achieve academic success over the past 100 years. And you know, I wish I had time to tell you about everything else, but in reality, I think you're just going to have to come see for yourself.
Welcome back to Fresno State Focus. I'm Michael Shear. Fresno State has produced an incredible football season this year, and with bowl games right around the corner, rankings and predictions have the school extremely hopeful. Fresno State has emerged as the top program in college football this season and has climbed their way into ranking 15th in the nation according to the BCS. Behind the leadership and passing ability of Heisman hopeful Derek Carr, the Bulldogs have had an incredible season and are off to the best start in school history with an undefeated record. Right now, many analysts predict that Fresno State will be given the chance to play in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, a BCS bowl game. Fresno has high hopes and will have to finish out the season strong to make this dream a reality. The Bulldogs have 2 games left this season and need both victories to keep their chances high. Fresno State's prayers to be invited to a BCS bowl game might be answered soon. Fresno State alumni and KC24 anchor George Takata is with us today to discuss the likelihood of Fresno State's football team being displayed on this national level. Thanks for joining us today, George.
Thanks, Mike. Great to be back on campus.
Absolutely. So if you could, tell us a little bit about Fresno's chances of actually making a BCS game, and to be specific, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
Well, they're very good. I mean, they've got 3 games left to do it. They've got New Mexico on Saturday. They're 3-7. They should roll over them on Senior Day. Then they go to San Jose State next Friday, and that's a rivalry game. It should be a tough game on the road, but I think they can handle that. If they do that, then they win their division, obviously. They go to the Mountain West Championship game that they would host, probably Boise State again, which would be a tough challenge. If they win that, then we're talking Fiesta Bowl.
Absolutely. And what are the main factors that have attributed to the team's success this season, do you think?
Reasons 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D are Derek Carr. You don't get this far without him. He is the one guy that's been carrying this team. Of course, they have talent on both sides of the ball and special teams. But if you don't have Derek Carr, you are not 9-0, and we are not talking about this.
Absolutely. And you can't forget about Devontae Adams, who has, in fact, led the league in touchdowns. I believe he's first in the league, correct? First in the nation.
Mm-hmm, sure is.
So if you could, maybe, what are some roles Derek Carr plays in making that BCS game? Do you think that his Heisman status is possibly getting us more attention?
Yeah, his popularity is on the rise. He's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the nation, in my opinion. And he's just the stuff you see, the throwing and all that stuff, and the elusiveness in the pocket. That's the things you see. But I see him at practice. I see his, the things he does in the film room and things like that to prepare. And when you prepare like you do, like Derek does, then it'll show on the field. And it's all about preparation and studying for him. And that's why they're 9-0. It's the abilities as well, but it's the stuff behind the scenes that are good too.
Absolutely. And you yourself are a Fresno State alumni. You must be proud to see this. Where do you think this team ranks in school history, in all the great football teams that have been here? Where does this team rank in your opinion?
Well, it's to be continued. It's still got hopefully. Well, there's 4 games left no matter what. They'll play a bowl game no matter what. But as of right now, they're one of the best teams in Fresno State history. In '85, the team won 11-0-1. The Bulldogs are going to try to be this year's team the only second unbeaten team in program history. We'll see if that happens. They have a great shot at doing it, though. We'll see what happens in the Fiesta Bowl, maybe if they get that far.
So, quick guess, yes or no? You think they're going to make the Fiesta Bowl?
Yeah, I think they're going to make it. Maybe play Baylor. Who knows?
That'd be great.
All right.
So we've been talking with George Takata about Fresno State's BCS chances. George, thanks again for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. The Fresno State Bowling Club got the ball rolling on a tournament this past weekend. GJ Glutz has more.
Just a couple years removed from winning a national championship, the Fresno State Bowling Club is made up of some of the best bowlers in the valley. Christopher Davidson joined the team for one reason and one reason only.
I joined it last year to win a national championship. That's it. I love bowling and I want to win.
The USU Center hosted a tournament each day this past weekend, bringing in schools such as Arizona State, San Jose State, Cal Poly, and Cal State Long Beach. Although the team did well, Davidson was not satisfied.
We finished second the first day, so we were a little disappointed, but we came back and we were down going into the last match on Sunday, and we came back and won that day. But we definitely like to win every single tournament.
Bowling Club members practice and compete on these alleys behind me for 2 hours a day, at least twice a week. But the Bowling Club offers more than just competition. It's also a good place for bowlers to make new friends and meet new people while improving their game.
Parker Brooks is an example of that.
It's a way for students to bond with other people and kind of get closer to other guys and have an outlet if they don't have one already.
Being part of a team can also lead to memorable moments. Club president Kyle Jordan gives us an example of how they once lifted their spirits after a quick exit from a tournament.
When we were driving through Colorado, we were going through the Rockies. We actually stopped at the Colorado River. A couple of guys actually got down to their boxers and got in the water. That was pretty interesting.
But he wasn't brave enough to join them in the water.
I'm pretty sure it was cold, but I wasn't getting in it.
The bowling club is open for anyone to try out. Only the top 8 men and top 8 women will compete in tournaments. But all members are welcome to practice and receive coaching. GJ Glutz, Fresno State Focus.
It's that time of year again for people who like to live outdoors. Justin Meyer has more for the club for the outdoor lovers, the Fresno State Ski and Snowboard Club.
It's the rush of the wind through your hair, the smell of pine cones and pine trees, and of course, the lush, fresh powder beneath your feet. Dylan Thompson has been a snowboarder ever since his first time trying the sport in the 8th grade.
I'd always lived in the mountains, but I transferred schools from living down here into Sierra High School, and I went one day and with some of my friends, and after that I got hooked, and from there on it just consumed my winters.
Thompson got so hooked, he's now the president of the Fresno State Ski and Snowboard Club. The club has been on campus since 1998 and has 250 paid members. It has $20 to join. For that, you get a t-shirt and you can buy a season pass at $99 to China Peak. For students who are non-members, you can buy a season pass at $149. Christian Schalk joined for the adventure, friendship, and because it made good financial sense.
I joined the club, that way I can get the season pass for China Peak at a discounted rate of $99. And in addition, at the end of the year, the Ski and Snowboard Club always does a trip to usually like Lake Tahoe area.
We're going to North Star this year for sure, and we're also planning another trip to a smaller resort, but for $25 a night and $25 to ride, that's cheaper than even China Peak.
Thompson's goal for the group is to get more people excited about the sport, including beginners or people who have never skied. The club is open to any students from Fresno State or City College. Even people who are not college students can join. For more information, like the Fresno State Ski and Snowboard Facebook page and send them a message. Justin Meyer, Fresno State Focus.
Coming up on Fresno State Focus, find out how students are helping victims of Super Typhoon Haiyan. Plus, see how a film festival is spreading diversity. All that when we come back.
I am Fresno State, and I'm going to show you why. Here's the beautiful and newly constructed Henry Madden Library, which has a massive collection. The Save Mart Center, which is our sports venue and one of the best attended in the entire country. We're absolute pioneers in the agricultural sciences, having led to the production of the first university winery and drawing in a diversity of students to achieve academic success over the past 100 years. And you know, I wish I had time to tell you about everything else, but in reality, I think you're just going to have to come see for yourself.
Devastation is left after a Category 5 typhoon ripped through the Philippines Friday. The road to recovery for these people will not be easy. Organizations at Fresno State are already putting matters into action. Reporter Anna Vargas shows us how they are doing it.
Super Typhoon Haiyan destroyed not just homes, but the lives of many. Take a look at pictures of the aftermath. You can see the rubble everywhere, cities destroyed, bodies scattered, a scent so horrible worth covering your face, and overall, people seeking desperate help. Members of Cairo Omicron fraternity, also known as Expo, is a Filipino-based fraternity at Fresno State. They are teaming up with other chapters of their fraternity throughout California in a relief effort to help the Philippines.
As an organization, what we're trying to do is we're trying to donate food and money, whatever we can get, and we're working with other Filipino orgs, and we're working with our organization as a whole, our whole efforts just to provide food for the Philippines.
They are doing so by collecting canned food and other non-perishable items. Hanging on the side of their booth is a sign that says, "Help the Philippines." In front, boxes for anyone that would like to drop off a donation. Expo member Alan Swadley says he's constantly telling friends and students the importance of donating.
There have been cities that have been leveled and left as ghost towns, and a lot of the families over there are left homeless and hungry, and people are starving and dying because of the contaminated waters.
But Expo members are not the only ones taking a part of this relief effort. They are the members of Magaisa, a Filipino club at Fresno State. They are asking students for monetary donations. Public Relations Officer of Magaisa, Nikolai Dionisio, says their primary reason for taking part of this relief effort is family.
Because we do have families there still. And a lot of our members, their families, they live in the areas where they were the hardest hits when the typhoon struck through. So
Magaisa is accepting donations for the next couple of weeks. As for the gentlemen of Expo, they'll continue to accept canned food until the end of the semester. You can find their booth located in front of the USC Pavilion, right across from Taco Bell. Anna Vargas, Fresno State Focus.
Winter break is less than 2 weeks away, and now is the time when companies are looking for their spring interns. Here with us today is the campus ambassador for Intern Queen, Reina Casares. Thank you so much for being here. So tell us, who is Intern Queen?
So the Intern Queen is basically Lauren Berger. She's the author of All Work, No Pay. She did 15 internships in her 4 years of college, which is pretty impressive. She's the CEO of internqueen.com, which is a website where students can go and find internship listings and blog posts that relate to the internship lifestyle. So that's who she is.
And what is your role as the campus ambassador?
Basically, my role is to get the word out of her brand, just through social media outlets, on campus. How she's coming to Fresno State. My job is to make sure that students attend the event and make her known.
So she will be here on December 4th. Can you tell us more about what she will be talking about?
Yeah, she's basically going to encourage students about internships. Just keep going?
Keep going.
She's basically going to encourage students about internships and just explain how she did 15 internships during her 4 years of college.
Okay, thank you so much for being here, Reina. We have been talking with Reina Casares, who is the Intern Queen Campus Ambassador. Hecho in Mexico led the way to the start of the Latin American Film Festival. Hecho en Mexico showcases the richness of Mexican music, from traditional to pop rock. Director Duncan Bridgman blended the film with interviews. The Save Mars Center's auditorium had a packed house Friday night. Students and members of the community went on a musical odyssey. Professor Dr. Anabela España says she wanted to expose students to the complexity and diversity of Latin America.
It's such a complex region, and each country has its own complexity, and so I think we want to keep that balance in mind. And especially, people who live in the U.S., their knowledge of Latin America tends to be fairly limited, and so what gets reported in the newspapers, for instance, it's only the bad things.
Student Fabiola Ramirez says she feels it is a necessity to show films that portray the positive side of Mexico.
I have seen a lot of movies that portray the Mexican ethnicity as something negative, so I felt like I needed to see something positive to remind myself of who I am, to remind myself of how I grew up, what ethnicity I have.
Matthew Jimenez says he wanted to see what the film was about. He was glad the film incorporated new and old traditions.
Basically, I took away a different idea of what Mexico's all about because it kind of showed a little bit of everything.
The Latin American Film Festival will continue throughout the month of November. Every week, a movie from a different Latin American country will be shown to bring awareness to the diversity of Latinos.
Fresno State has a lot of accomplishment, but this one takes the cake. Jayla Tunzel tells us about how Fresno State's involvement with the Nobel Peace Prizing discovery.
Peter and Victor, they talked about their experience with roots.
The Nobel Prize is the most prestigious award in the world. Scientists and scholars from all over the world have received the Nobel Peace Prize, and now Fresno State is a part of that legacy. Fresno State's physics department has been working with scientists from other universities and countries on the Higgs discovery, a Nobel Prize-winning discovery. Dr. Yongsheng Gao, a physics professor at Fresno State, has been involved with the Higgs discovery for several years and explains why the discovery is important.
Higgs mechanism is how everything receives their mass. So everything in the universe receives their mass through the Higgs field. Then the Higgs boson is the mediator for the Higgs field. So the key for the current theory of how everything works. So they have been looking for this Higgs particle for almost like 50 years.
Dr. Gao brought the project to Fresno State in 2007, making it the only CSU campus to be involved with the discovery. Dr. Harinder Singh Bawa has been involved with the discovery since 2001, coming to Fresno State in 2009.
I'm a postdoctoral researcher, so my main job is to participate fully in the research activities, to participate in the new physics. I do my self-analysis, and we do all the service work which is required to be the part of that international experiments. And I guided some of the students for their master's projects, undergraduate and the graduate projects.
One of those students is Brandon Osmus, a physics graduate student with his master's in math.
For me, being involved with it it was actually quite life-changing for me. It was wonderful. Getting my first shot at real research, real-world research in a real scientific and in industry, a lot of industry over there as well. It really changed a lot of things. It opened up a lot of doors for me.
Knowing Fresno State is changing lives is the greatest prize of all. Jayla Tunzel, Fresno State Focus.
Next week on Fresno State Focus, take a haunting look into Fresno's history.
Plus, find out why everyone is loving the icy new look of downtown Fresno.
Also, find out about the events that had students having fun and giving back. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.